The Crimson Mirror, the Deadly Beauty of Lake Natron. Introduction: the Lake of the Medusa. Imagine a landscape so alien, so seemingly hostile to life, that it looks like it belongs on the surface of a distant, dying planet. You are standing in the Great Rift Valley of northern Tanzania. The heat is a physical weight, pressing down on you at a staggering 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Before you lies a vast expanse of water that doesn't ripple like a normal lake. Instead, it shimmers with a viscous, oily sheen, stained a deep, bruised crimson and framed by a crust of white salt that looks like bleached bone. This is Lake Natron. In the world of natural wonders, there are places that invite you in, and then there are places that warn you to stay away. Lake Natron is the latter. It is often called the deadliest lake in the world, or more poetically, the Medusa Lake. For years, haunting images have circulated the internet showing birds and bats that appear to have been turned into stone, frozen in their final moments of life, perched on branches like macabre statues. But what is the truth behind the petrifying lake? Is this a place of dark magic, or is it a masterpiece of extreme chemistry? In this audio journey, The Crimson Mirror, we are going to explore the 5 chapters of Lake Natron's existence. We will dive into the chemistry of mummification that gives the lake its deadly reputation. We will climb the Mountain of God, the volcano that feeds this caustic basin. We will witness the incredible paradox of the flamingos who call this death trap home. And we will look at the ancient human history that surrounds its shores. This is a story of extremes. It is a story about the thin line between life and death, and how nature in its most violent forms can still create something breathtakingly beautiful. Stay with us. The water is rising, and the secrets of the Crimson Mirror are about to be revealed. Chapter 1: The Blood of the Rift, a Geological Anomaly. To understand Lake Natron, you first have to understand its home, the East African Rift. This is a place where the Earth is literally tearing itself apart. 2 tectonic plates are pulling away from each other, creating a massive scar across the continent. This geological violence brings the heat of the Earth's mantle closer to the surface, creating a landscape of hot springs, jagged craters, and soda lakes. Lake Natron is a terminal lake. This means that while water flows into it from nearby streams and hot springs, it has no outlet. No rivers flow out of Lake Natron. The only way for water to leave is through evaporation. In the blistering heat of the Tanzanian sun, the water disappears into the air at a rapid rate, leaving behind everything it brought with it: salt, minerals, and chemicals. Over thousands of years, these minerals have concentrated to a level that would be lethal to almost any living thing. The result is a thick, caustic brine. But where does the color come from? Why is it red? The answer lies in the invisible world. Despite the caustic environment, the lake is teeming with life, specifically salt-loving microorganisms called haloarchaea. These tiny organisms produce a red pigment as they photosynthesize, turning the entire lake into a sea of blood. From a satellite, Lake Natron looks like a jagged red wound on the face of the Earth. In this chapter, we explore the sheer physical presence of the lake. We describe the trona crust, the thick, jagged platforms of sodium carbonate that form on the surface, looking like broken panes of glass. We feel the phantom wind that blows across the flats, carrying the scent of ammonia and ancient minerals. This is not a place for the faint of heart. It is a landscape that demands absolute respect. Chapter 2: The Medusa Effect, the Science of Petrification. In 2013, photographer Nick Brandt released a series of stunning, eerie photographs that brought Lake Natron to global attention. He found the bodies of swallows, bats, and eagles washed up on the shoreline. They weren't rotting. They were perfectly preserved, their feathers and skin hardened into a gray, stony crust. He placed them in lifelike positions, creating the illusion that the lake had turned them into stone the moment they touched the water. While the instant petrification is a bit of artistic license, the reality is even more fascinating. It all comes down to the pH level. A neutral liquid, like pure water, has a pH of 7. Lake Natron has a pH level of 10.5 or higher, nearly as alkaline as household ammonia or liquid drain cleaner. If you were to dip your hand into the water for a prolonged period, the caustic chemicals would begin to dissolve your skin and eyes. The lake gets its name from natron, a natural mixture of sodium carbonate decahydrate and sodium bicarbonate. If this sounds familiar, it's because this is the exact substance the ancient Egyptians used to mummify their pharaohs. Natron acts as a powerful desiccant. It strips the moisture out of flesh and prevents bacteria from growing. When an animal dies in the lake or falls into its shallow waters, the minerals go to work. They soak into the tissues, calcifying the body and preserving it perfectly against the elements. The stone animals aren't just myths. They are natural memories, frozen in time by the same chemistry that preserved Tutankhamun. In this chapter, we debunk the horror movie myths and replace them with the terrifying beauty of chemistry. We look at why birds crash into the lake in the first place. The mirror-like surface of the red water is so still and reflective that it confuses their navigation, leading them to fly directly into the caustic brine at full speed. It is a natural siren's call, where the beauty of the lake becomes its most dangerous weapon. Chapter 3. The Flamingo Paradox. Life in the Caustic Cradle. Now we come to the great contradiction of Lake Natron. In a place that can dissolve skin and mummify birds, there is one creature that doesn't just survive, it thrives. Lake Natron is the single most important breeding ground in the world for the lesser flamingo. Every year, nearly 2 million of these pink-hued birds descend on the lake to build their nests. Why would they choose a place so hostile? The answer is safety through extremity. Because the lake is surrounded by caustic mudflats and the water is deadly to most animals, the flamingos are safe from predators. No hyena, lion, or baboon can cross the burning alkaline crust to reach the flamingo nests. The lake acts as a massive toxic moat, protecting the next generation of birds. The flamingos themselves are biological marvels. They have evolved tough, leathery skin on their legs that can withstand the caustic water. They have specialized glands in their heads that allow them to filter out the salt and chemicals from the water they drink. And their primary food source? It's the very cyanobacteria that give the lake its red color. They eat the death of the lake and turn it into the vibrant pink of their feathers. This chapter explores the island of salt, the massive nesting grounds in the center of the lake. We describe the sound of 1 million birds, a cacophony of hunks and cries that fills the Rift Valley. We look at the flamingo dance, the elaborate mating rituals that take place on the shimmering red flats. It is a powerful reminder that life is incredibly stubborn. Even in a place that seems designed to destroy it, life finds a way to turn a prison into a palace. Chapter 4. Old Duinyo Lengai, the Mountain of God. To understand why Lake Natron is the way it is, you have to look up. Looming over the southern end of the lake is a massive, cone-shaped volcano called Old Duinyo Lengai. To the local Maasai people, this name means the Mountain of God. Old Duinyo Lengai is unique among all the volcanoes on Earth. Every other volcano on our planet spews lava that is rich in silicate, the stuff that makes rocks like basalt and granite. But Old Duinyo Lengai spews natural carbonatate lava. This lava is unlike anything you've ever seen. While normal lava glows a bright orange or red and flows at 2,000 degrees, the lava from the Mountain of God is cold, roughly 1,000 degrees, and glows a ghostly black or brown in the sunlight. It is so thin and fluid that it flows like water, and when it cools, it doesn't turn into black rock. It turns into a white, powdery ash that reacts violently with rain. This ash is the fuel for Lake Natron. When it rains, the runoff from the volcano carries these unique carbonate minerals down into the basin, constantly replenishing the lake's caustic chemistry. Without the volcano, Lake Natron would just be another muddy pond. With it, the lake becomes a chemical laboratory. In this chapter, we climb the steep, ash-covered slopes of the Mountain of God. We describe the eerie, frozen white landscape of the summit, where the lava has cooled into strange, brittle formations that look like coral. We explore the spiritual connection the Maasai have with the mountain, and how they view the lake and the volcano as two parts of a single divine living system. The mountain provides the fire, and the lake provides the mirror. Chapter 5. The Maasai and the Future, a Balancing Act. In the final chapter of our story, we look at the human element. The shores of Lake Natron are home to the Maasai, one of Africa's most iconic and resilient cultures. For centuries, they have lived in harmony with this extreme environment, grazing their cattle on the surrounding plains and respecting the power of the Mountain of God. But the modern world is knocking at the door of the Rift Valley. Lake Natron is sitting on a gold mine, or rather, a soda ash mine. Sodium carbonate is a key ingredient in the glass industry, and there have been numerous proposals to build large-scale industrial plants on the shores of the lake. The conflict is a classic one: economic development versus environmental preservation. Industrializing the lake would provide jobs and revenue for Tanzania, but it would also threaten the delicate balance of the flamingo breeding grounds. The noise, the pollution, and the disruption of the water levels could drive the flamingos away forever. And because Lake Natron is their primary breeding site, the loss of this one lake could mean the extinction of the lesser flamingo across all of East Africa. We also look at the impact of climate change. As temperatures rise, the evaporation rate increases, making the lake even more caustic and potentially shrinking the available nesting areas. The crimson mirror is shrinking, and the window to protect it is closing. This chapter is a meditation on our responsibility to the weird places of the world. Lake Natron isn't a national park with lush forests or big five animals. It is a harsh, smelly, dangerous place, but it is also a vital piece of the Earth's biological puzzle. We conclude by looking at the conservation efforts currently underway and the hope that the Maasai, the scientists, and the government can find a way to let the Mountain of God and its blood-red lake remain undisturbed. Outro: The Crimson Legacy. We have reached the end of our journey through the alkaline mists of Lake Natron. From the mummified birds of the shoreline to the black lava of the volcano, we have seen that nature does not always play by the rules we expect. Lake Natron is a place of paradox. It is a lake that kills, yet it is a lake that gives life. It is a place of absolute stillness that is fueled by geological violence. The crimson mirror remains, reflecting the vast African sky and the white peaks of the Mountain of God. It stands as a reminder that beauty isn't always found in the soft and the gentle. Sometimes the most beautiful things on Earth are the ones that are the hardest to survive. If you like content like this, long-form explorations into the world's most extreme environments, the science of the strain, and the stories of our planet's last frontiers, please like this content and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us keep the microphones on and the stories flowing, bringing the most incredible corners of the globe directly to your ears. What do you think? Is Lake Natron a place of horror or a place of wonder? Would you ever dare to stand on its caustic shores? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for listening, and until our next adventure, stay curious and keep exploring the unknown.